2018, Kentucky did something rather interesting. I know you're thinking, Kentucky? We're talking about Kentucky? Yeah, just hammered. Kentucky instituted a law that said you have to have mandatory 50-50 custody. Personally, I found this rather fascinating because I do have two adult children that during the time when they were younger, I had 50-50 custody over. They enjoy spending time with both of us. I think I'm the favorite. I'm kidding. The reason behind this was essentially to have a shared custody agreement, which is considered to be in the best interest of the child. I know some of you are typing away and saying the best interest of the child is to be with me, but research shows otherwise, okay? Let's skip away from all those. Your husband may have been horrible. I get it, okay? Hang on. The idea was to shift culture away from typically what happens in courts is that the mom is the primary custody holder and the father is visitation only. So essentially the law wanted to establish if by default you say both parents share custody, it removes a lot of the battles and a lot of the contention back and forth, with the interest of the child being the most important piece in play. I know, crazy, thinking about your kid. I also wanted to foster a better co-parenting environment. I know, you should be co-parenting. Crazy concept, I know. I wanted to look at moms and dads as equal. I know, this is crazy, because you hear from one side, we want to be equal, and here on this side, we want to be equal too. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to actual divorces, no, we don't want to be equal. Hang on. There's also a bit of an underlying impetus as well, which was to lower the amount of divorce. Very often on this app, you hear about men that basically skirt the responsibility and leave the child raising to the mom. Like they're like fed up, they leave, or they never get married, they never get together. And all of a sudden, it's the woman's responsibility. It's something that should basically be concerning to all men and women, and maybe should change things lifestyle-wise in terms of society. But I digress. Let's kind of go into the data here. One interesting data point that I think is being misrepresented by quite a few people is that the divorce rate in Kentucky has gone down. And there's some people that are saying the reason it went down is because now women can't actually use that as a tool, as leverage. Yeah, kind of. You could definitely make that argument, because yes, there are some bad women out there, but you could definitely make the argument that maybe that dude won't step out so often. You know, let's be real here. Divorce rates from all the way in 2010 actually show that the data was slowly already trending down toward less divorce. Probably because there's been less people getting married as well. Another interesting statistic that came out of this is that family court filings actually dropped 11% during that time frame, meaning less people went into court to do any sort of modifications from the standard 50-50. That's a good thing. Another random interesting factoid here is that domestic violence dropped 70% during that time frame. Each one of those previous statistics is despite the fact that there's been an increase in population in Kentucky. Two final stats that I found rather interesting. The amount of collections from child support has decreased in Kentucky. The other thing that has decreased is the amount of single moms in Kentucky as well. Now, the amount in national averages for total child support being paid has been trending down in the US, but Kentucky outpaces that. 2018 to 2023, it's been a total drop of about 14% that is being collected in child support, because now you both have to split custody. The single mom statistics, 6.7% of homes in Kentucky identified as a single mom being in that household before 2018. That number dropped to 5% in 2018. You'd think it would be because there's more marriages. Not so fast. In 2018, there was a slight increase. In 2019, there was an increase. And then post-pandemic, it hasn't really bounced back to what it was pre-2018. This means essentially more people are, if they're having kids, they are staying in a 50-50 custody arrangement much more often. This is what everything kind of points to. Here's my question for you. Do you agree with this law? Should this be something that maybe gets instituted nationwide? I am curious on your thoughts on this.